You mentioned mentor. You're one. What's an area as a mentor that you've noticed that you wish more people knew? Maybe it's an area they need to focus on. Maybe it's a skill to develop. Maybe it's something to be more proud of and excited about. Something that if you could just wave a magic wand, more people, especially maybe newer to attraction marketing or the digital side, if they just got it, you could see that it would make a big difference in their business.
Well, there's probably two words that I'd lean towards. One is just that self-responsibility. Like if you're going to be an entrepreneur, I mean, network marketing requires, we need to be self-starters. We've got need to have sort of entrepreneurial skills to some degree. So just don't make excuses. Just fail forward. It's as we said before, it's the action that creates the clarity. But so many people sit back and they're looking for everything to be perfect before they go and do something.
So true.
So you need to go and do it before you get that clarity. So just that self-responsibility.
We are Attraction Marketing. Welcome. Helen Martin, as I live and breathe. Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
Attraction Marketing Show.
Awesome to be here.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm excited. 35-hour flight
35 and a half to be precise.
flying from
Australia,
what part?
south.
Can you be more specific?
Yes.
South Australia.
Yes, a little town called Victor Harbour, which is about an hour out of the main city in South Australia.
Do you fly from there or do you actually fly like from Sydney? What?
Well, this time around, I went from my city to New Zealand, and then New Zealand to San Francisco, and then San Francisco to Raleigh.
So what? Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so 35 actual hours, like.
From leaving home to getting here.
Wow.
Because I've got to drive to the city for starters. I live an hour and a half out of the city.
Wow.
So you got to drive to the city, then get out of Adelaide, which is my main city in South Australia, get to New Zealand. Normally I'd either go Brisbane, well, the east side of Australia. I can't get out of South Australia to America. I have to go either New Zealand or to the east of Australia to get out of the country.
That's amazing. And I genuinely mean this. That surprises me. I would think you guys would have the ability to go almost direct. Well, I mean, maybe not direct because of fuel. I'd have to think about that one. The pilot in me wants
You
to.
should know.
I should know
You should
these
know.
things, but I don't. So here's the question inquiring minds want to know. Did you raw dog it?
Yeah, well, no, I don't know what that means.
You don't know what raw dogging means? It means where
No.
you sit on the plane with no entertainment, no books, no audio. You just ride it out.
That'd be a no.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you did, that would be the ultimate in grit and determination.
I think I caught 3 movies out of the entire trip, which is not too bad.
It's not bad.
Because normally I would watch more.
Yeah.
I might on the way home, but I did try to sleep. It doesn't kind of work when you're sitting
Yeah.
in an awkward position for like 15 hours. But
Yeah. Was it a full flight?
I did have one spare seat next to me on my longest flight, so that was handy. Because at least you can put your legs out a little
Yeah.
bit. A
Oh,
little bit. It's
you're a
still not
trooper.
comfortable. Still
You're
not
you're a
comfortable.
trooper. That's brutal. So I've made the flight to Auckland
Yeah.
and
From
from LA. Well,
Okay.
it originated out of Boise, Idaho. This is back when, long story. We lived in Idaho, flew from Boise to LA, had a 4-hour layover in LA, then LA to Auckland, Auckland to Fiji.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that was only 18 hours. I think 20 total if you count
Yeah.
the driving around and all the goofing off. But anyway,
Well, this is my 13th trip here, and that was the longest. Normally it's somewhere between 22, 25 kind of hours. That's my normal trip to America. So this one was definitely beyond that.
and you've made, just on behalf of the attraction marketing.
Yes, there's been a
movement.
couple in there just for network marketing company, but
Uh-huh.
majority of them, so yeah, probably 11 of those have been for the attraction marketing community in one way or another as a student or as a mentor or training for being a mentor. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I've committed a lot to this community over
Which
a number
is
of years.
which is awesome and appreciated. You know, it's crazy to me because you started out as a student.
I
Thing
did.
I don't think a lot of people know. Maybe they do or they don't, or maybe they just kind of just don't think much about it. But I kind of want to dive into it a little bit.
Mhm.
Is you came in as a student. How long were you a student before you took the next step?
It was only about 8 months before you guys asked me to be a mentor.
Yeah.
But next step as a student, I guess back up a bit. As a student, just this is really weird. Like when you live in Australia, and I'd come across you guys and saw an ad and opted in for a little attraction marketing ebook, which a lot of students would be
Uh-huh.
familiar with, and really didn't do much with it. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. I mean, I came out of corporate. I'll get to my story in a moment, but this thing pops up on my screen about this event in Vegas. And I kind of turned to my husband and I said, honey, do you want to go to Vegas? And he's like, what? Like we'd never done a trip like that other
Yeah.
than, kind of being married, etc. And I'm like, I just felt in my gut that I really wanted to go. So I had not been exposed to the community for very long at all before I went to that event. And then it was that event that I decided to invest as a student. And then it was only really like a few months after that that I sort of became a mentor in the community. So it was a fairly fast transition when I sort of, came in from nothing,
Yeah.
knowing nothing about online marketing, digital marketing, attraction marketing, any of that. So it's been a wild ride.
That's crazy. And what was awesome for me, and I've always really appreciated this about you, is you came in, you were one of the OG, like original
Yes.
mentors.
Yep.
So I came on
Exactly.
board 9 years ago. There was no mentorship team. We had folks, a lot of cool people that are still with the company who were kind of de facto mentors, but not an official kind of formal mentorship team. And
Yeah.
I think you were like mentor number one.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah. There were three of us that came on all at the same time, and the other two, left a number of years ago.
mhm.
So I'm the only one left of that original
That
mentorship
is
team.
wild. And then you went from that role into more of kind of it's almost like the graduate level.
Yep.
And that was a pretty cool story. And I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because the road that was sort of that you created, that you paved for yourself, trailblazed for yourself is awesome. And I want to get to that story because that's probably the one most people know you by, how you created your online crew and the whole thing.
Mm.
But let's start at the beginning
Mhm.
because you kind of alluded to you had a corporate background
Mhm.
and dare I say, pretty darn qualified. You got like 3,000 degrees and qualifications, finance, management. What is it?
Well, yeah, I don't know why I studied as much as I did, but I guess to go back even further, I lost my mum when I was 14.
Mm,
So I grew up really independently and I just fought, for everything and just grew up really, really quickly. And I just wanted to make something of my life. And so yep, I'm going to go to university and I'm going to work hard and just,
mhm,
you just battle on. You become very fiercely independent when something like that
100%.
happens in your life. So I went to uni and I did accounting first, and then that just bored the crap out of me just to push numbers. I mean, it's either right or it's wrong. There's no creativity in that.
Yeah.
So then I transferred and, got credits for a Bachelor of Business majoring in marketing. So then I got my marketing degree after that. And then I wasn't quite finished then, and I went back and did law. And I got I got credentials in law, but I didn't quite get as far as I wanted to in law because I got quite sick. I got an illness called Guillain-Barré, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's a virus that affects your nervous system. And I couldn't even move my arms or legs for about 8 months.
Whoa.
I spent 8 months in a hydrotherapy pool in a hospital, just being able to move my arms and legs. So I did that for 8 months, got back on my feet with a walking stick because the virus affected me a lot more on my left side than my right side. So I was a little bit wobbly, but got back on my feet. My corporate job, so I've kind of skipped that. I'll get back to that. They held my job for me because I was very well respected in my job, which was amazing. And I went back to, go further with the law. And I was there for 3 weeks and I went, what the hell am I doing here?
Hmm.
You do not need to study anymore, Helen. You're good. You've earned
Yeah.
your stripes. You've done enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't go on to do law as a career. Further than that either. Even though I had some qualifications, so all of that set me up to ride the corporate wave, if you like. And I was a general manager. Um,
What does that mean? Is it because here in America,
oh, okay, good point.
yeah.
Good point. So general manager is like chief executive officer, president type,
Okay.
without owning the company, like a paid employee, if you like, but the top of the chain
Sure, sure.
is kind of what we call a general manager.
Yeah.
So, and I was a very young one. So that was challenging in itself because I was up against all the suits. Like I would go to boardroom meetings, lobby politicians, do the whole thing with a just everything was about men in suits. So it
Yeah.
was an interesting time, but I grew up pretty quickly and grew pretty strong pretty quickly in that corporate world. And that was my world. That was my life. And I loved it. But then sometimes life comes along and just smacks you with something you don't expect. And somebody passed away in our family.
Mm.
And it turned our life kind of upside down. And as a result of that, my husband and I and our two young boys moved to the country voluntarily to look after some family affairs. And I reluctantly resigned
Mm.
from my corporate career.
Was it a career like, did you enjoy the career?
Yeah, I was in that job, like grew into that job where I was there for 16 years.
Oh, wow.
So it was a big part of who I was. Some people in the corporate world might relate to this. When you do something for a very long time, it becomes a big part of who you are. And when I resigned, what I didn't expect is you take the general manager label off me, and I didn't know who I was.
Mm.
I'd kind of lost my identity in a way. And it scared me to just be a mum in a way without
Sure.
knowing what I was going to do. But when one door shuts, another opens, and here I am sitting in America today talking
Amen.
to
That's
you.
so wild.
Having a career in the online world in network marketing and with everything I've created with my coaching community and all those kind of things. So, yeah, that's what led me into this industry, if you like, because I
Mhm.
started looking for something different. But it hasn't been an easy ride.
When you first made that shift, so you guys moved to the country, was that a it seems like an important kind of part of the story because it's a physical move to a different environment. Did
Yes.
that influence any part of where you're like, you know what, maybe it's time to start looking for something not corporate?
That was exactly what led me down this path. So I was very nervous and scared as to what I was going to do next. I just walked away from, a high six-figure, income to nothing.
Mm,
Nothing. That was the choice that I made. They would have accommodated me working from the country, sometimes working from home, but I was like, you know what? After 16 years, I've busted my gut. I've gone to uni and done this, this, and this. I'm gonna be more of a mum to my young boys at the time.
mhm.
So I just decided to take a break and just sit with it for a while. And after about 6 months, it's like, you know what? I don't want to go back into a normal working environment where somebody tells me when I can and can't have holidays and
Right.
do different things. I'm going to do something different. And that's when network marketing came and found me. I guess my eyes were a little bit more open.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%.
Sometimes you just got to have that space to open your eyes a little bit more. And so I was open in that space. Um, and that was all exciting until it wasn't.
Okay. So you open it. Let's pull Pandora's box wide open because you just cracked it.
I guess I was a little bit naive to people's perceptions sometimes of, the industry and going to your family and friends and people that are important to you about this exciting new journey that you're on.
Yeah.
So I was very well respected in corporate. When I left, I had the most amazing send off, like a dinner of 500 people, presents. Like it was just amazing. So I went back to all my corporate friends with my exciting
Oh,
journey. Guess how that went down?
I'm sure they lined up, didn't they?
I have never felt because I was so well respected in the industry. I knew what I was doing. I was confident. I had earned my stripes. I did everything with just confidence, I guess. And then I tried this new avenue and I go back to some of my friends with my exciting new business
Yeah.
venture, and that did not go well.
Jeez.
They, like people that I'd known for years that we'd had amazing relationships with, started ghosting me,
Mm-hmm.
didn't return my messages. There was a number of things that's like, oh my gosh, I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not this is not me.
Yeah.
So I had a choice to make at that point, and one was either this is not me, I'm going to give this up, or I'm just going to find another way.
Interesting.
I'm gonna find another
How
way.
long did you go through that where you were reaching out, getting ghosted? How much of that gauntlet did
Yeah.
you endure?
So there was the initial 6 months where I just sort of relaxed and thought, "What the hell am I gonna do with myself?"
Mhm.
And, just threw myself into the gym, became a personal trainer and a Zumba instructor and,
Oh,
did all
okay.
those
Sure, sure.
did all those kind of things. I still teach today. But, it just I don't know if some people can understand this, but I needed something more for my brain, if that makes sense. I just needed something businessy, really businessy.
Mhm.
So that's when I started exploring, well, what is there out there to do something different? So I reckon there was probably 3 or 4 months where I was at it the old school way, if you like,
Sure.
and going back to, content because that's what you get told to do.
Of course.
Go make your list of your top 100. So all my corporate friends that I'd worked with closely for many, many years. They were at the top of my list.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tried that for a few months, and yeah, it wore me down,
Mhm.
and it really, really hurt. To
Uh,
be honest,
I can imagine.
it really hurt.
So, was it I gotta know. There's a
Mhm.
lot of people out there who have a perceived fear of that. They think, "God, I would hate to have that experience," but they've never actually had it.
Yeah,
You lived it.
yeah,
What was it like?
terrible. I remember a distinct memory is crying to my husband, like I'm literally in tears, saying to him, I I am not a dumb person. Like I've got some skills, but I can't crack this business. I don't know how to build this business. I feel incompetent, I feel small, I feel put down. I just this does not feel good. I just said I don't know what to do. Like my hands were up in the air. I was that close to giving up.
Mhm.
To say that now sitting here in this studio with you is weird to think I
Wild.
was that close to giving it all away. But something inside me, I guess, didn't want to go back to that corporate world. So it was like, let's just see if we can find something else that can help you build this another way.
Mhm. Was corporate an option? Could you have gone back?
Well, moving to the country, the options weren't really there. Like if I was still in the city and I'd left for some other reason, I may have probably tried to go back actually, maybe for another corporate job. But when you move from the city to the country and you've got a job like a general manager,
Yeah,
those jobs just don't come up in a
sure.
small country town. So it wasn't really an option unless I wanted to drive to the city again every day. And I just got my freedom back as a mum
Mhm.
and, when I was in corporate, I didn't read in the classroom. I didn't go to sports days. The kids were in before and after school care. Like I didn't like that as a mum. So I had this was my opportunity to do
Right.
all of those things. So going back wasn't something that I was a high priority, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wanted, and I guess that was my pull to
Mhm.
make it work
Yeah.
or to try something different anyway.
Well, what's funny is I generally don't love cliches, but they always say like one of the cliches we always hear, especially in the industry, is "Oh, pressure makes diamonds."
Yep.
Okay, fine. You really did. You had the pressure of either going back or and then therefore giving up your family, or continuing down a path that felt like you said, just like felt yucky.
Yeah.
So you obviously took option C, which I don't think a lot of people do. They think, "Oh, I've only got 2 options. They both suck. I'll take the less sucky." But you're one of those people that blazed a different trail. So what was the option C? You said, "Okay, I'm not gonna do it the old school way. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do it that way. I'm gonna do it a different way."
Yeah. So this is where I really leaned into the online side of it. And I was like, I know there are people out there that are building online. And, it wasn't such a buzzword as much then as maybe it is now, but the whole attraction marketing journey.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I know there's people out there that do it. I want to learn how to do that. So I just kind of started researching it. And that's when, a Facebook ad must have come up, I'm Googling something, it put something in front of me, nice match there. And then that started my journey in learning, the online world and attraction marketing. Even then, when I entered into it, it was so foreign to me. Like I was the last person on Facebook. Like I didn't care for social media.
Right.
I was in the corporate world. That's what I did. Being on Facebook didn't really phase me. So that was a huge learning curve. Like some people say to me, "Oh, yeah, you've got business skills. You this, you that. You've had a career and whatever." I'm telling you now, none of that prepared me for the journey that I've been on, or path for myself now. I had to go back to square one and learn. And there's been many a time early in my journey where, you guys here at Attraction Marketing believed in me more than I believed in myself, no matter what my past was with business and,
Mhm.
degrees and all the rest of it. That did not prepare me.
Yeah, it's
Did not
wild.
prepare me for what I needed to learn, with attraction marketing. So to me, that just says anybody can do it as long as you've got the drive to the determination and you're willing to do the work.
Mhm.
Anyone can forge that path as long as you're willing.
Hey, my friends, hope you're enjoying the show. I wanted to take a quick minute and invite you to something very cool. If you are tired of following up with dead leads, if you're tired of all the spammy, scammy conversations online, if you're tired of chasing down friends, family, and people you work with just to get somebody interested in your business, and you would actually like to talk to highly qualified people who have a genuine interest in doing business with you, then we have our all digital 5-day boot camp that teaches you all the things that we do, and it will help you get 3 to 7 new customers each and every single week. That's our personal guarantee to you. If you want to take advantage of that, click the link directly below this, or you can go to attractionmarketing.com/YouTube. Now, let's get you back to the show.
I love that you said that. And I think one thing that gets almost overlooked and perhaps missed is it's very easy to look at somebody with your background and go, well, of course.
Mm,
The reason she's successful is she has a background in law and, accounting and all these things. Of course. That has part of your story for sure. And I'm sure there was some, built in some of your, like your natural character, you losing your mom at 14, and all these things that built like you naturally had that grit.
yeah,
Maybe not naturally born with it, but developed it and
yeah,
and had to really leverage that. It's not that you had a background in business that led to your business success. It's much more than that. And that's the part that I'm really hoping people are getting from that, because while I mean, we're going to get into some of your awesome results. And I think that that's exciting and people look at that and go, that's great, but it's Helen,
mm,
right? It's not. I mean, it is, but
yeah,
the real core to that and the part that we can relate to is some of those character traits. What would
yeah.
you say if you look back on it and you could analyze for yourself, evaluate, this is the thing that got me through it, or the things, maybe it's multiple, maybe it's a couple of bullet lines. What would that be? Character traits, behaviors, that kind of stuff.
It really is just the discipline to do things when you don't want to step up even when you're scared. Like you're full of fear when you step into something that's new. People see me on live video and go, "You're so natural." And it's going, "Man, you didn't see my first videos."
Mhm.
I was so far from anything on camera, apart from very nervously doing maybe a TV interview for work,
Yeah.
for something like that. It was so far from being natural to me. But, people see you maybe years down the track after you've put the hard yards in and they think it's easy, but it's like you didn't see all the times that I cried behind, doors, or were frustrated with my computer or doubted myself. But you've just, as long as you know what you want and where you're going, you've just got to have that determination and that grit,
Yeah.
to just do what you know you need to do and don't let the fear overtake that because it can
Mhm.
so easily do that.
Yeah. 100%. That was when we first came up with the mentor kind of role table. Like we're going to describe what the mentor role looks like. KPIs, key performance indicators, soft skills, and then the hard
Hmm.
skills, the professional skills.
Yeah.
I'll be totally straight with you. I don't know that you ever knew this, but you were one of the kind of like prototypical, like, how can we get more Helens
Okay.
on the team? And one of the things that we came up with when we wrote it was grit, and we defined what grit meant. Because I specifically said this when we were coming up with it with Melissa Dunkley. She's like, "Well, what would you call that?" I'm like, "I would call it grit." And she's like, "Well, how would you define that?" And I gave a definition, she gave a definition. We kind of came to some sort of happy medium, but it was literally like we both kind of almost said it at the same time. We're like, kind of like Helen, because there were so many times like I know you remember this, but you would come to a workshop and you just traveled 35
Mhm.
hours or whatever, and you're on a completely different time zone, a whole different hemisphere of the planet, and great attitude, smile, but you're like, "Oh god." And I remember thinking, "Man, what can we do for Helen? Like, should we start later in the day, give her an extra hour of sleep?" And you never complained, you never squeaked. It was just like you're almost falling asleep with a smile on your face, but you're like, "I'm back. I'm here. I swear to God, I'm so sorry." You're like, "Don't apologize. We need more of that." That's the kind of stuff, like, what would a student without traveling on the other side of the planet and having to go through the experience of falling asleep, like, you don't have to necessarily put out like that, but I mean, grit, there's something else that was driving you. It had to be. There was a real desire to win. I've always, well, at least I've perceived that from you. What is that for you?
That's a really good question. I guess um I don't know. I take pride in what I do. I fight for my family. Like, a lot of what I do is, to provide for my family, to give them a good future. I've learnt to really love. I think you've got to have some kind of enjoyment in what you're doing, and I
Yeah.
really do love this industry and what I do. So that drives me. I mean, who knows what's at the core of really what makes somebody tick?
Mhm.
But I don't. It just it comes so natural to me, like to not make those kind of excuses, JT. Like
Mhm.
so many people live in like America and they wouldn't come to the workshops. And it's like I'm willing to travel halfway across the world to
I
come to the
love it.
workshop. And it's
Yeah.
just, it's just what you do when you want to get to where you want to go. So why people don't back themselves more to just do what they need to do to get to where they want to go, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it's funny because I always wonder, like, what else are you gonna do with your life? Like, go all in on something that you care about. Go all in on yourself. What would that look like? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're a great example of that. So here's a question for you because you were a general manager, CEO, if you want to make the kind of US connection to that. If you were the general manager of attraction market or of network marketing, the industry, what's something you would change? Like, do you look around and go, this is broken. This is bullshit. What would you fix?
There's still too much old school stuff going on. Like we really need to modernize the industry, professionalize the industry a lot more, have a lot more modern attraction marketing strategies throughout all companies at corporate level.
Mhm.
Because there's still so many people that are doing it in a really icky way, which we all have to pick up the pieces for. Like that's
Mhm.
no fun, for anybody. But really building those relationships. It's an interesting time in the industry because um, consumers these days are spoilt for choice.
Mhm. Right.
And gone are the days where you can just kind of put something out there and somebody would buy it. We've been through those days, which have been awesome. But these days, people are looking for more, and we need to nurture the leads more and have more of a relationship. So I think if we ingrained that in a lot from corporate level down with a lot of companies, that would serve the industry a hell of a lot better than just pushing the stuff out on people, which is the old school network marketing, which is why people end up leaving the industry because
Mhm.
that's what they get taught to do.
Yeah.
Nobody enjoys doing that and it doesn't work. So then they kind of leave the industry.
So let's go a little bit deeper on that. What do you think is the real consequence? Because I agree with you, and I'm wondering, it's one thing to go, it's real icky, and it's another thing to say it doesn't work, or maybe for some people it does, but it's got kind of like it can only work to an extent. What's the deeper consequence do you see if the industry doesn't fix itself in that sense?
Well, I hate to think, where that would end up. It's we are already seeing in the last particularly 2 years, there are companies that are closing way too often. We've heard of a major company just recently that came out of the blue, no warning to anybody, just shut their doors overnight. And you're impacting hundreds of thousands of people's lives and incomes and customers on products that work for them. Like the impact of that is incredible and it's happening over and over again. We're already living in that world where the industry is not, not very stable. So, it makes a lot of people nervous out there. But this is why when we build in this industry, like the principles of attraction marketing, when you build a brand, your own personal brand, and you give value and all the things that we teach with attraction marketing, it doesn't really matter which company you're in behind the scenes, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
because you can still stand on your own 2 feet with your own name. Like I can turn up and do my videos at Helen Martin and I give value, and it doesn't matter which company that I'm with essentially, because I'm building my own personal brand.
Hmm.
There are more people in the industry that really should be doing that and learning the principles of attraction marketing, because when you just rely on the company, because there's a certain amount of control you don't have when you're in network marketing, because you don't own the company, you don't own the products, you don't own the distribution, you don't own the pricing. The only thing that we can control, and the only thing that I can control in my network marketing business is me.
Hmm.
What I do and what I don't do. I can't control what the company does.
Hmm.
So it's a level of protection and professionalism because you're not at that corporate level, if that makes sense.
100%. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think a lot of people miss that. They think, "Oh, I'm in network marketing. I have a few people. I'm building a downline. Things are good. This is my business." And the answer is no, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
And you have been amazing at building a brand. So your brand is a lot of fun, very unique. In fact, I'll be honest, I've seen a lot of brands out there, some really great people that have built, like an awesome following. They have their own vibe going on there, but nothing like yours. Tell us, I want to know more about the online brand crew,
Well, thank
or
you.
the online crew,
I
rather.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really funny where that whole concept came from. I was actually following somebody at the time who's no longer in the online space, mind you. And she just had a bit of a theme going on. And I thought that, that's pretty cool. And it attracts attention when you do something different. We need to do something different to stand out. Because, like I was saying before, people are spoilt for choice. So we need to just do something a little bit different. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. I want to do something different and I want to do something of my own. And this is really funny where this came from. We'd just been on a cruise, my family and I, and we'd come back with I've got 2 boys that
Mhm.
were young at the time, and we bought them captain's hats
Okay.
off the cruise ship.
Yeah.
So I had these captain's hats and I had, the leis that you wear
Yeah.
and just some bits and pieces. And it's like, I'm kind of going to do a cruise ship type of theme. And it's like, what could I call my community? I need to call it something. Because the thing about building online and a personal brand is you really build a community.
Yeah.
It's a community that you want to build, and what you call it, and you make people feel a part of something bigger than themselves. So I'm like, I'm going to call it the online crew, as in captain's
Like a
hat,
ship's
and
crew.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm the online crew captain.
Yeah.
So that's where it started from.
So good.
It was just a thought because we'd been on a cruise, and it's just like I like this beachy type thing. And I said for a long time, I've got this little cruise ship that I hold up. I used to hold it up on my live videos saying, I'm going to run like retreats and, things on a cruise ship. COVID came around after all the cruise ship debacle where
Uh-huh.
it just spread through. So
Yep.
I stopped talking about
Yeah, we're gonna park that one
you
for
were
a little
going to
bit.
park that one for a while.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. But it still lives and breathes today. Like my online crew, I call it my online crew. People resonate with me. They call me their online crew captain. And it's just,
So good.
it's a brand that's got a life of its own now. And I have my own community, which is called the online crew, community.
Yeah.
And I have a coaching community attached to that.
Do they feel like they're a part of it? Like that, like they're contributing to it on some level?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because to me, having been in the Navy, like when you're on a ship, part of a crew, you have a job. So everybody's not the captain. You got one captain.
Yeah.
But everybody on that ship is responsible for something, and it's important. If
Yeah.
one person drops the ball, then the ship, that means somebody else has to pick up the slack, and all of a sudden it has got this ripple effect. And I love that kind of analogy. It's like you've created this sense of a person feeling like man, I'm doing
Totally.
something. I'm part of something cool.
Yeah.
And of course, they see you as the captain, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The captain, visionary, leading them. What have you seen in the time? How long has the online crew, your brand, been active and really been going?
It's probably seriously about 6 years that I've
Okay, that's
been
legit.
growing that now. Yeah.
Yeah, you got some miles on the odometer, as I say.
Yeah.
So, what have you seen? Like, you're as the captain. What kind of rough seas have you had to navigate in the industry on behalf of your crew?
Yeah. Well, um, I guess the one constant that over that time that it's people still don't get, but they need to get is the personal branding.
Yeah.
It's I will just continue to teach it, and because there's so many people that still don't, they just don't get it. And they have a real hard time trying to work out what is, I think they majorly overthink what, a personal brand actually means. But there are so many people, it just recycles around that they go back to those old school ways. There's always people coming through the community that is new to, which blows my mind
Hmm.
because building a personal brand is just something that I think everybody should know about. But there's still so many people in the industry that is a foreign concept to.
Do you think that they don't know, or do you think they resist it? They know and they're like, "Yeah, I don't want to do that."
I think there's resistance in the industry from corporates, like from the actual companies themselves and from leaders that have been building their businesses the old school way. They see attraction marketing and personal branding as a distraction, which is what I got when I first started learning about it and was speaking to people in my company about it at the time. But no one was on board with me. Like I was a lone ship. And, again, I could have bailed or just kept going with it. And I decided to keep going with it. And, the ultimate respect is that, I do have a community where they have to pay for some things. And people that were in my old company that shunned what I did
Mhm.
now pay me for my services
Aha.
so old uplines that wouldn't listen to me before have now come kind of full circle and are now learning from me and even paying to learn from me. So I take that as a massive compliment,
Huge.
and that they just didn't open their eyes as fast as I did potentially. Like I just jumped on obviously to learn a lot earlier, but they're realizing, over time that it just needs to be done. So I think there's a lot of companies out there that are not proactive enough with the attraction marketing principles, personal branding principles, and people that have built the old school way
Yeah.
that were successful then and so still have a level of success now. They just see it as a distraction. But for the new person in this industry, trying to come through, attraction marketing and personal branding is just, it has to be done.
Mhm.
You just can't survive unless you live in that world now. I
Yeah.
mean, we are in an online world. Look what COVID did,
Right.
to the online world. Everyone's online now. People are spoilt for choice online.
Mhm.
So we don't build like we used to. And if they do, they're probably not going to last very long in the industry.
It's crazy to me how a company, because you were talking about the resistance from the corporate level of a
Yes.
network marketing company to
Yep.
have its distributors build a personal brand. I was in the first 4 network marketing companies I was in, 2 of them, so 50% attach themselves to well-known celebrities. I won't say the names,
Right.
but one is a very well-known pop artist slash movie star dude.
Okay.
Um, may or may not have the same initials as I do. Was they signed that person to be a brand
Like an
person,
ambassador
like an
type. Yeah.
ambassador.
Okay.
They were so excited that they had that person on board. The other company had a major business icon who had a TV show where he would potentially fire people and may or may not be in a high level of office as we speak. I'm just
Okay.
saying. And
Okay.
they worked so hard to have this brand person. And you would think if a company actually was going to pay literal millions to have somebody just attach their name to it, wouldn't it be great if every one of our distributors hungrily went out there to build their own personal brand?
Mm.
I would think it would be game changer for the
Hmm.
industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
So let's talk about what's the resistance. You were talking a little bit about that. What would you tell somebody? They're listening to you. They're like, yeah, that Helen, that's great, but you're Helen Martin. I'm me. What would you say to that? if they're going to push back on the idea of building their own personal brand?
Yeah, well, everyone starts somewhere. I know it's easy to look at people that have had some success, that it's like, oh, well, you're Helen Martin. That's easy for you. It's like I started out with no influence, no brand, no skills, no Facebook, no social media following. But as long as you sort of determine what your personal brand is and you just stick with the consistency of doing it, like if you're in and out of your business with your personal brand, like it's just not going to work.
Mhm.
So you've got to stick at it. But anybody can do it as long as they've got the determination to do it. And, yes, I've come from a business background, but that did not, as we've already spoken about, that did not give me the skills for what I'm doing in my business now. Yeah, maybe a bit of the grit and the
Sure.
determination, the personal qualities, but what I've like, it can absolutely be learned. Open your eyes and, know this is the future of the industry and where it's at.
Mhm. Well, so it's interesting too because with your personal brand, it's clearly has nothing to do with your corporate background.
No, nothing
It's just
at
something
all.
you loved.
Nothing at all.
The captain hat and everything. Totally awesome.
Totally unrelated. Just, I'm in a new industry now, and this is what my mentors told me to do,
Uh-huh.
like you guys here. And I guess, being coachable. I was coachable and I listened and, got to lovingly kick up the what sometimes
Mhm.
because we all need that to go on a journey that we've never ventured in before. But as long as you listen, learn, and you're coachable and you're consistent at it, anybody can achieve
Yeah.
in this industry. You just got to stop making excuses and get the work done.
100%. Yeah. Seth Godin calls it the purple cow.
The purple
Yeah,
cow.
he said like if you drive past a road, you see a cow, you don't even notice it. But if you see a purple cow, you're gonna
I
stop.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
So that's kind of what you've done. And it's very interesting because even to this day, as long as I've known you and as many times as I've seen you pop up in my feed, I'm like, there it is. There she is with the background, the whole beach setting. So here's a real interesting thing I think a person would ask. That's great, Helen. You put on all that work. You've got the whole online brand built and you keep talking about this, but talk about paying the bills. Where's the rubber met the road for you in terms of results? What has this rendered for you?
Well, it's interestingly enough, I never would have thought this is possible, but I actually earn more money now than I did when I was in corporate
Mm,
from starting from scratch in this industry. Now, I have got creative and I've not only got my network marketing income, but I've also created my own brand, which I've monetized, obviously. um, and just created like it's not as difficult as what people would think if they just got out of their own way and tried different things. Like I found a little niche that I liked, which is branding.
mhm.
I love personal branding. So I was like, I'm going to create a little course on personal branding. I still run that course today in its very original format. You just update things every now and again, and it's another little income stream. And like it's not that difficult if you just, you put your head down, you learn some skills, you turn around, you can monetize it without too much difficulty. People are overcomplicating things,
Uh-huh.
even in their own heads about, what they can and can't do. It's just like, just go and do it. Action is what creates clarity. People are looking for clarity before they go and build their network
Isn't that
marketing
weird?
business or, getting all the answers for the personal brand. It's just like, just go and do the do and the
Yeah.
clarity will come. So I guess I've just been creative enough, to create different things along the way. Like I've got 14 streams of income now, become a multiple six-figure earner through scratch, like JT's
Mhm.
scratch, with all the different things, which includes, some affiliate income streams that all, they all work together. But what people don't realize, they think, oh, you've got all the time and, under the sun. I still do consulting accounting work.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Wow.
I teach at the local gym every Monday morning. I teach a class. I've done it for 10 years. So I work at the local gym still. Like I'm still doing a lot of different things. I'm a busy person, but I still find enough time to create great income
Mhm.
in this income stream as well. And that's not been easy. I myself had to start again just late last year because the company
Mm-hmm.
fell over.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to move companies. Like I've had my share of struggles, but you just pick yourself back up and you rebuild. And when you've got a personal brand, that helps along the way because it's not all about a product or a company. It's about me. It's
Yeah.
about the relationship that I have with people. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
100%. And I
Yeah.
think, the other thing too, because you'd mentioned the company shutting down, how does a person navigate that? Because I almost look at it like this. It's a little bit like a plane crash. Like it's sad you hear it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, a plane crash," but it's so rare. Like millions of flights go on every day
Yeah.
that land safely, take off on time, and everything's hunky dory. But you hear about one plane crash and you're like, "I'm afraid to fly." One company shuts down and then another one shuts down. All of a sudden you think, "Oh my gosh, there's a real problem." There's really not.
There are a lot of companies doing very well out there and will always continue to do so. So that's what everyone hears. And there's a lot of nervousness in the industry, but it doesn't mean there's actually a real reason for everybody to be nervous. There's a lot of companies that are doing extremely well. If you've got the right management in the company, I mean, there's something to say for some of those companies. I know some of the reasons why my previous company, and that comes down to kind of management type,
Mhm.
decisions, which we can't control,
Right.
from the field. But it's like when I left corporate. I didn't plan to leave corporate, but
Mhm.
one door closed, you open another, and you just go on a different path.
Mhm.
So that happened. It's like, oh my gosh, it's happened, but you deal with it, you turn around, you make a decision, you move on in another direction. And often you're bigger and better than you were, you know, before when you rebuild.
It's interesting too because like you said, you focus on the thing you can control. And so if a
Yeah.
person, let's say this hypothetical situation, I'm
Right.
going to put you in the hot seat.
Right.
A person's in a company right now, they love it. They know you're the fairy godmother, you've got the crystal ball, and you're like, 12 months from now, your company is going to close, it's going to fail, it's going to fall apart, and you can't leave. What's going to be what's the thing you would tell them to do? They can't get out of the company. They can't jump ship. They're going to have to ride this thing clear to failure. Company's going to shut down in 12 months. What would be the thing? But here's the solution. Here's what I encourage you to do. What would you tell them?
So they can't leave the company. They've got to ride it out until the
Yep.
company. Yeah. So just keep going.
But what would you have them do? Build the thing out?
Oh, so no, build the personal brand.
I mean, amen.
A-
It's kind
ab-
of a leading question, but that's really the point.
yeah.
Is if you don't have like you survived it because you had your personal brand. And you're sitting across from me very confidently, but not arrogantly, going, "Hey, if it happens, it happens. It's rare that it does, but if it does, big deal."
Yeah, it's the only thing that you can control in this particular industry
Yeah.
because we don't own the company or the distribution or
Yeah.
the products or the pricing or anything like that. But you own how you show up. You own the value that you bring to the world. You own the rapport that you build with strangers out, on the opportunity
Mhm.
that this industry gives you with, pair that with the online world is
Mhm.
absolutely amazing. So if more people took advantage of that with their own personal brand, because it's the only thing they own, you're not going to hurt as much if something did happen, like it's happened to me. I've picked
Mhm.
myself, I've moved up, rank advanced, 5 times in 5 months. Like you just pick yourself back up and you move on.
Yeah.
And hope for bigger and better things. It's not the end of the world
Mhm.
when you build a personal brand.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you can go on and be a best-selling author.
How you could do that too.
Yeah. So tell us real quick about that. You've got a book, Journey to Success.
Yes.
How, what,
Yeah.
tell us more.
Yeah. So that's it's a collaboration of really inspiring stories from entrepreneurs, like my story, I guess my journey, which I've shared before about coming from corporate and giving that all up and starting in this in a brand new industry and not knowing anything about it, and just what you need to do to be to overcome that and
Mhm.
be successful in that. So it's really my journey that we've spoken about here today. So, and it's a lot of other people's journey that have got similar stories in that entrepreneurial path.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Well, good on you because you obviously had to work hard to get yourself to even be in that kind of conversation, to be included in a thing like that, and now you're a best-selling author.
Yeah.
That doesn't
It's
suck.
yeah, no, it's a good thing to, it's something I'm proud of as
Yeah,
well.
you should
Yeah.
be. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Hey, my friends, hope you're enjoying the show. I wanted to take a quick minute and invite you to something very cool. If you are tired of following up with dead leads, if you're tired of all the spammy, scammy conversations online, if you're tired of chasing down friends, family, and people you work with just to get somebody interested in your business, and you would actually like to talk to highly qualified people who have a genuine interest in doing business with you, then we have our all digital 5-day boot camp that teaches you all the things that we do, and it will help you get 3 to 7 new customers each and every single week. That's our personal guarantee to you. If you want to take advantage of that, click the link directly below this, or you can go to attractionmarketing.com/YouTube. Now, let's get you back to the show.
Couple questions for you. So 12 months, let's look a year into the future. One concern you have about the industry and one thing you're excited about in the industry.
Well, I'll go incitement first because it just that's the way I feel.
Uh-huh.
Like I feel the future is bright. I feel, as long as you've got the really good combination in a company of the ownership and the stability and the right products and all those kind of things that count with
Yeah.
with a really good company. But I've never been more excited myself about where I'm going in this industry and the future and what I'm going to be able to create in the next 12 months. But I control that largely with what I do. I'm not relying on the company to create momentum for myself. It's the belief in myself, the belief that I still have in the industry and moving forward. So we go and make that happen, and there's plenty to be excited about in the industry. There's plenty of growth. There's no need to be fearful. Yes, there are companies that have closed, but there are, that's all the ways the bad stories that people hear.
Sure.
It's not really something to focus on. But I'm excited for where we're going. It's a little bit scary with AI and things like that, but the opportunities that we have to build our businesses these days with social media, the platforms, AI, when you build a personal brand, it's the opportunities are endless if you take that control and really embrace it.
I love it. Is there any concerns you have, or maybe one?
I feel if people do not embrace the fact that we need to build connections, that they just won't last in the industry. They're just, as quickly as they get in, they'll get out. Like we can't post and pray anymore. People are spoilt for choice. The consumers are educated. Consumers are they've got so many options in front of them. I think they're a little bit more diligent in doing their research, especially when it comes to products, like and what they consume. So that rapport that we build, like really showing up as my motto behind my brand is to be a human before a marketer.
Oh,
And I think if people don't embrace that, if they don't bring the human side of how we build on social media or build in the industry in general, they won't last.
mm-hmm.
So if we can, bring the industry up a notch by really concentrating on that human behavior and nurturing a lead instead of just expecting a sale and waking up in the morning thinking, who can I serve today? Who can I help today? Rather than what can I post to get another customer or what can I post to get a team member? Like really shifting the mindset in how can I serve? How can I help? How can I build relationships? How can I just show up and be a better person today? And who can I help today? And if people don't embrace that in this day and age, they're not going to win
Yeah.
in network marketing. Like if we can, to seal it with my motto, to be a human before a marketer is really what I think everybody needs to do. And if they don't, that I really don't think that they're going to be very successful in this industry moving forward.
Boom. I love your motto. Say it again.
Got to be human before a marketer.
It's beautiful.
I've got two mottos that I say over and over and over again. My main one is to be a human before you're a marketer. The second one is you're not having fun in business, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So there is always room in this industry. Every business has its, frustrations and things like that. But I believe we can have a lot of fun because of the community aspect of team building and building brands with your own community. Like, you can have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I like to have a lot of fun with my community and my team. And so if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Go and find some different people to go and have some fun with. So between the two of them, that's me all over, JT.
Cheers. Cheers to that.
Boom.
I love it. Yeah, that's beautiful. So question for you.
Mhm.
Are you leveraging AI? Because you mentioned it. Do you use it much?
Yes,
How do you
yes.
use it?
But I've taught about this just recently in my community. What I'm seeing with AI, I leverage it, but I always try to share the message around AI. Build it with your story and your journey.
Mhm.
Don't just plug something into AI and say, can you create me a content plan or can you create me an idea for a post? Because all it's going to spit out is just a whole lot of words that might be information, but to my motto of being a human before a marketer, there is a big difference between emotion and information.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are using AI to create the information, but they're not pairing it with their journey and their story enough. So they're missing the emotion. And back to my point of human connection is what we need to concentrate on moving forward. If you don't pair the story and the journey with the AI, it just ends up being information, and no one needs more information. We've
So
got
true.
you wake up in the morning, phone, computer, TV, newspaper. We are bombarded with information. The last thing anybody needs is just information.
Mhm.
We need storytelling. We need to share our journey. Everybody's got a story of some sort. So use AI to get ideas, use AI to, create good content, but please pair that with your journey and your story to bring in the emotion with the information. And that's just my personal view
Mhm.
of where I see AI, being a little bit dangerous for people, because I can read a post and go, that's 100% AI. You can see it
Right.
now. People are using it too much without interjecting their own real
Mhm.
human before a marketer. There we
Well,
are
and
again.
honestly, it's not just because you're a savvy marketer and you can pick up on that. Most people can tell, oh, that was AI or that was a human. It's one thing to use AI for leverage, I think, but I love that you were talking about, hey, include your personal story.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody who goes, yeah, but I don't really have a story?
Everybody has a story. You've just got to dig deeper and just, really think about it. And sometimes you just need somebody to prompt you. Like, if you don't know your story, just start saying to somebody, I don't know my story, and get somebody to, a mentor or somebody who's skilled in that area to help bring it out of you. Because everybody, absolutely 100%, has a story.
Mhm.
Just some people don't even realize what their own story is until you start asking them some questions.
Yeah.
But everyone has a story.
You mentioned mentor. You're one. What's an area as a mentor that you've noticed that you wish more people knew? So maybe it's an area they need to focus on. Maybe it's a skill to develop. Maybe it's something to be more proud of and excited about. Something that if you could just wave a magic wand, more people, especially maybe newer to attraction marketing or the digital side, if they just got it, you could see that it would make a big difference in their business.
Well, there's probably two words that I'd lean towards. One is just that self-responsibility. Like, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, I mean, network marketing requires, we need to be self-starters. We've got need to have sort of entrepreneurial skills to some degree. So just don't make excuses. Just fail forward. As we said before, it's the action that creates the clarity. But so many people sit back and they're looking for everything to be perfect before they go and do something.
So true.
So you need to go and do it before you get that clarity. So just that self-responsibility. The other thing, what was the other thing?
Self responsibility.
No, there was two. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. So, oh,
If it comes back to you, interrupt me.
that's hilarious. It will come back to me. This happens to me all the time. I'm getting old, JT.
They're great years. You're not old. You just have a lot of years. That's the way I look at it. Not getting
Yeah.
old. A lot of experience.
And experience. Yes, that's right. Just ask the question again and it'll prompt me.
As a mentor, is there something you see in people that you've mentored that you wish they knew more? Maybe it's a skill. Maybe it's something to focus on. Maybe it's something to be proud of or celebrate that they overlook.
Probably the most important thing, though, is really taking, I mean, the best thing somebody can do for their business, other than the self responsibility, is taking taking that, just taking the action.
Mm,
Just because the action is what brings the clarity. The taking the action is the only thing that's going to build somebody's confidence
yeah.
in whatever it is. Knowing what your personal brand is, or what content you like doing or don't like doing, or you know what works and what doesn't work. You can't figure any of that out. You can't grow and become amazing at what you do and build an amazing business unless you go and do the action of all the things that we need to do online. Like, do live videos, do reels, even before you know how to do them.
Hmm.
Just the most important thing I could say as a mentor is just go and do the do. Take the responsibility to go and do the do, but then actually just like get into action and get out of your head. Because most people that I mentor, they're just so much in their head
Yeah.
about why they can't, or I'm not confident yet. And it's like, well, you can't get the confidence unless you go and do the thing you know you need to do.
They think confidence is going to hit them in the head like it's a bolt of lightning. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, I'm confident.
Yeah, and even like I do say this often in my community, the skills are amazing. Learn how to do reels or TikToks or AI. Like, skills are necessary,
Hmm.
absolutely. But it really is, it's not what anybody's looking for, but it's absolutely what they need. It's that self-responsibility and action.
Yeah.
It's just taking the responsibility, take the action, and be consistent at the action. And that is the best thing you can do, whether you've got the skill yet or not.
Yeah.
Because you can't grow, you can't, get confident in doing any of that unless you actually do things fearful and just fail forward.
It's so crazy. Self-responsibility and action. I love that you said that
Yeah.
because honestly, if you think about it, the one thing that I've often talked about with, because I hear this a lot too. I hear it more often than I probably would care to even admit. I wish I was more confident. And I'm like, dude, confidence is like the temperature of the room. It can be kind of static, but it goes up and down. Like, this room's nice and comfortable, but I mean, it's not a steady temperature all the time. It's kind
Yeah.
of up and down. The thermostat registers and the heat kicks on or the AC kicks on or whatever. Your self-confidence is, or confidence in general, is pretty much like that. You're not just always confident. You could look at the most we could look at you. Like, do you have times like where your just confidence is kind of low?
All the
Was your
time.
confidence up and down all day today? I mean, not maybe like dramatic, but
Of course.
so it's not like, okay, look at Helen. She's the got it all together gal. It's not like that. And the one thing you can count on, though, is that whether you feel good, whether you don't, if you do the do, like you said, your confidence actually does take a boost.
Yeah.
And there is something magic about that. And that's the thing a person can actually control.
And that's a very important point. You can control that.
Yeah.
And something that I do, and I'm so grateful for a lot of the skills that I learned as a mentor in this community, because something that I've learned to do through that journey is pivot quickly.
Hmm.
So when something's going on, or more importantly, when it's not necessarily going the way I want it to, something I always ask myself is, what do I need to learn from this?
Mm.
Um, just all the time, what do I need to learn from this? So when you actually step out of the emotion and you ask yourself your question, you start to evaluate, and then you can sort of look at things objectively and then pivot, because it's no good. People stay stuck for far too long.
Hmm.
They just get into a funk and they don't think they're confident, or they don't have the skill, and they just stays, and days turn into weeks, turn into months, sometimes even turns into years.
Oh, yeah.
But if we can sit in that self-responsibility piece and go, whatever's going on, what do I need to learn from this? And you truly evaluate that. And that's like, that pushes you into that action quicker. So I think, as a mentor, something I constantly say to people as well, ask yourself that question all the time. What do I need to learn from this? If things go well, amazing, do more of it.
Yeah.
If something's not going well, what do you need to learn from that? Evaluate it and then change, pivot, take the action. So if we're constantly evaluating like that and pivoting quicker, we're just going to get to where we want to go a hell of a lot faster.
Oh, man. I hope we have 1 billion people watch this. In fact, I almost wish they could hear that part, even if they're not in network marketing or in entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that clip right
In
there.
life.
It
In
is
life.
so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. that
Yeah.
self-responsibility, just the ability to get up and just do something. Like if you have the ability to get yourself to do that, it's a superpower,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. The only way I've got results that I have
Hmm.
and rank advanced in my company and become multiple six-figure earner in the journey that I've had is by pivoting quickly.
Hmm.
You don't get those kind of results in a relatively short space of time in the scheme of things. And when I say that, I compare that to my corporate journey. I remember when I came into this path, I beat myself up big time because I was successful in corporate. I came into this realm, my business skills didn't help me. I didn't know what I was doing and I was all over the place. And I had to take a step back and go, hang on, you took years and years and years to go to university, paid lots of money for that, more money than that than you've paid in this, although I invested a lot in this as well. But and riding the corporate ladder for years and years and years and years, how can you expect to walk into this industry and just suddenly nail it?
Yeah.
People's expectations are way too like quick, if that's the right way to put it, in this industry.
Yeah.
So if you take it the right way, think about it the right way, as like learn your skills, education, and just keep pivoting quickly, then you can speed up your results. And that's all I've done. I've just taken the self-responsibility, taken the action, and I've pivoted when I need to. And then that gets the results faster.
Amazing. So we have just scads of followers that follow this podcast. They mail us letters
Oh,
all from around the world. It's like Santa's workshop,
right.
and they want to know,
What do they want to know?
what is a book or a course that you might recommend if you want to be a successful entrepreneur?
Well, most people might actually recommend books of an entrepreneurial nature. I would recommend two books that have served me very well throughout my life, which are more personal development books. One of them it was a first book I was given when my mum passed away, and I still revisit it every now and again, and it's called Heal Your Life by Louise Hay.
Mm.
And it's like I've got an old original version, but it's all very much about, as I said before, it's the personal development side of this industry that, we need to get out of our own head. That
Yeah.
is a brilliant book for anybody that's dealing with self-doubt and fear, and it's just a brilliant book.
Mhm.
Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. The other one is just life in general, but personal life and in business, and definitely in an entrepreneurial space, is The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz.
Right.
That
Interesting.
is a brilliant book because, especially in this industry, like if you're messaging somebody or you've messaged somebody, we make up all this stuff in our head. Why haven't they responded? Or I can't message that person because they might say this or they might think that about me. Or we conjure up all this stuff in our head. But those four agreements in that book, like that served me well in business, in
Mhm.
this industry, as well as in my personal life.
Mhm.
So that's probably, there's so many books, but they are two books that I keep coming back to when I need to, I still go through times where I doubt myself and I have fear and
The
I get,
great Helen Martin doubts
yes,
herself?
yes,
Holy cow.
yes, yes. So, those two books I still revisit to this day.
Not Journeys to Success. You
Oh,
could
other
have
than
said it.
my own book.
If you could shift one belief across the industry, what would it be?
Oh, just one belief.
Just one.
Nobody really cares. And what I mean by that is so many people worry about what other people think of them, but nobody's really thinking about us that much
Oh, that's a good one.
because they're thinking about themselves and what people are thinking about them. Like nobody really cares that much about our life and what we're doing and what we're posting or what we're not posting.
Yeah.
Like, so, people have this ingrained belief. They don't necessarily see it consciously, but people don't do what they know they should do because they worry too much about what other people think. It's an ingrained belief, but nobody really cares that much about you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's true.
So just who cares? Just go and do what you need to do.
Do you think it comes down to where they're thinking about one or two specific people? Like, what if that person is looking?
Probably, yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
do you really think that one or those two people or that small group of those very specific individuals are really that obsessed with watching? Probably not.
Absolutely not.
It's crazy.
Absolutely not. It is crazy that people put that much emphasis. The sad part about it is they're putting all their power in other people.
Yeah.
When we worry way too much about what other people think, we've given all our power away to somebody else. And that's not the way to build a successful business or just have a happy life
Hmm.
at the end of the day.
Happy life. Let's not forget what this is all about. I
Exactly.
mean,
We want to
come
be
on,
happy
right?
at the end of the day, don't
Wouldn't
we?
that be a great byproduct of all of this? You build a personal brand, you build a bunch of money, and oh, by the way, you have a happy
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Hey, now,
Yeah.
that would be something.
Yeah.
So, Sam Stevenson from Sarasota Springs wants to know, if you were any animal, what would it be?
Oh. I've said this for years. I would love to be a bird.
What kind of bird?
I don't one with big wings.
An eagle?
Yeah, it could be an
A
eagle.
pelican?
No, probably more an eagle. I just want the freedom to fly wherever, just the peace and the flow. Like, I just love the way birds glide through the air and they can just go where they want and just flow where they want. Like, it fascinates me.
Very philosophical, very deep answer to a question. Sam, thanks for your question. Mailed all the way from Sarasota Springs. I love that we're here and we get to do this. We're actually physically in the same room, which
We
is very,
are.
very rare.
It is.
Getting ready to do Digital Networker Live.
So excited.
You're going to rock the stage. What are you looking forward to this weekend?
This fills my cup. I just love being around like-minded people. I think it is very important to everybody in this industry, or not only in this industry, but just in life again, to surround yourself with people that uplift you, that inspire you, that you can have great conversations and you just want to be a better version of yourself. And I know every time I come over here, I go home with that.
Hmm.
I fill my cup when I'm around all you guys and get inspired by the other speakers. Yes, I'm here as a speaker, but I come here very much with an open mind and a heart to what all the other speakers bring to this event, because I'm always learning myself. I'm always looking to grow. So I'm here, to be inspired myself, to hopefully inspire others with what I can bring to the table. But I just very much look forward to just that sense of community that we have here in
Yeah.
the attraction marketing community. I thrive for that. I love it. I wouldn't come halfway across the other side of the world if I didn't.
Sure.
So just having that time together, because I just miss it. I
Yeah.
live in a small country town in the south of Australia, and I rarely talk to people in my town about what I do. So I'm sure there's a lot of people in the industry that lives in small places that don't think that they can build a business because they don't have the population or the right kind of people. If I can do it in a small country town in South Australia, anybody can do it. But it's really important to, at various times of the year, to fill your cup, go to events, whether it's company events or events like this, to fill your cup and be inspired. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And I know I'll go home so happy
Yeah.
just having spent the time around everyone, over this weekend, and learning new things myself. There's always something to learn in this wonderful world of digital marketing, online marketing, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And you talked about just wanting to be around and give back to the community. Hey, you helped build this community. So you should be very proud of that.
Thank you. I love this community. I love pouring back into the community.
Yeah.
I do, absolutely love it.
Well, I love you.
Grateful.
I'm really grateful
love
you're
you
here.
too.
So much fun to hang out with you. We're going to have some fun this weekend.
We
And
are.
I'm super stoked, very proud of you, very excited, very impressed by what you've created. Cheers
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the show.
Pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Helen Martin.
Hey, what's up, my friends? Hope you enjoyed that show. Hope you got some great value from the content and hope you enjoyed our conversation with our speaker. I want to just remind you, if you are ready to stop chasing people and start having people chase you, if you're tired of all the spammy, scammy conversations all the time, and you'd rather have 3 to 7 highly qualified customers each and every single week coming to you in your inbox, you are invited to grab our free 5-day digital boot camp that will teach you how to attract the right kind of people, create the kind of influence so you can start enrolling those 3 to 7 customers each and every single week. And you can get that at the link below, or you can go to attractionmarketing.com/YouTube. That's attractionmarketing.com/YouTube. And if you got some great value from the show and you want to stay in touch, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and of course, share this message far and wide. There will be much more conversations just like this one coming at you very soon. Look forward to having you with us here with the Attraction Marketing Show.